What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum and legendary British CEO and promoter of Queensberry Promotions, Frank Warren, are stating that they are looking to pay $10 million, a hefty fee, to allow undefeated two-time British heavyweight world champion superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury to face off against two-time unified British heavyweight world champion, fellow countryman superstar Anthony Joshua, to face off in an undisputed bout. So they're willing to pay now Olympic bronze medalist, former reigning WBC heavyweight American superstar world champion boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder $10 million. Now, just last week, reports surfaced that a deal was done for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to face off against one another, and that in the mediation, Deontay Wilder was going to receive upwards of $30 million as if he actually staged the trilogy match that him and Tyson Fury are contractually bound to face off against one another in a trilogy match. And now, with that said, these are all reports that continue to surface to detract from what's really right, and that's Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury in a trilogy match that they contractually agreed upon. With that said, they understand what Deontay Wilder represents. They understand that the risk that they take stepping through those ropes with Deontay Wilder for a trilogy match, and the possibility of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or British Showdown for Undisputed could go by the wayside. And so you're getting so many conflicted reports that are coming out, all in the name of trying to not have the trilogy match with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Ultimately, this is what this boils down to. That everybody hopes that this trilogy match doesn't come to fruition. You have Matchroom CEO and promoter who promotes Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn. He says it's 95% done. You have Bob Arum. He says it's 95% done. This is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. You have Frank Warren says it's all but done. But yet, they're still in mediation with Deontay Wilder. And yet, you're getting so many conflicting reports as to what's taking place in mediation. But you're hearing nothing from Team Wilder. Now you're hearing that Wilder has split with his manager, Shelly Finkel, because Shelly Finkel mishandled the negotiations for the trilogy match. Now you're hearing Deontay Wilder was set to make $32 million. As if the trilogy match was staged, because he's rightfully owed a certain amount of money, even if the fight doesn't come to fruition. Now you're getting Team Fury and reports coming from Team Fury stating that they're looking to pay Deontay Wilder $10 million. First it was 30, now it's 10. First it was Deontay Wilder didn't meet the deadline of October 15th. Then it was Tyson Fury just couldn't wait until January, February to stage the fight. Well, now we in the middle of January, coming towards the end of January. Tyson Fury still hasn't fought. Then the reports were that Tyson Fury was going to face off against another boxer December 5th. That didn't come to fruition. Now they're saying that the deal with Anthony Joshua is 95% done to stage the fight. You're getting so many conflicting reports because simply Deontay Wilder's standing on the square and he wants the trilogy match with Tyson Fury that he contractually is owed. And they want him out of the way by any means necessary. Also reports now that WBO mandatory challenger Alexander Usyk, who's the mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Now they're stating that he is in talks to face off against Joe Joyce, undefeated heavyweight title contender, who just defeated Daniel Dubois in dramatic fashion. Well, now Alexander Usyk originally stated that he wasn't going to take any amount of step-aside money. He was going to just uphold what he's due, and that's the WBO title challenge at heavyweight. He wants to be a 2-division world champion. He said no amount of money was going to get him off of his square, and now he since, according to reports, has changed his mind. And it's no coincidence that Joe Joyce is a Frank Warren fighter, right? So they're offering up other fighters to try to be a roadblock or to try to essentially, get them, throw them a bone, so to speak. Here, we'll give you Joe Joyce, Alexander Usyk. That's a big fight for you. Deontay Wilder, you could have, at one point in time, you heard Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. Then it's Dillian White versus Deontay Wilder. Now you have Charles Martin coming out and they saying that Charles Martin is the front runner for Deontay Wilder's next fight. And then you hear Deontay Wilder could face Andy Ruiz Jr. in his next fight. Right? This is all a ploy to try to deter from what's actually set in stone or set in place. What is set in stone because the trilogy match was agreed upon to get Deontay Wilder to not honor the trilogy match. So now they're reporting that they're offering him $10 million. Well, what happened to the $32 million that was being reported? What happened to the fact that Deontay Wilder lost a mediation? If he lost a mediation, then why would he be offered any type of money to step aside? He wouldn't have to be offered anything to step aside if he lost, because he lost. He didn't do what he was supposed to do on his end. So therefore, there is no trilogy match. It went by the wayside. He didn't meet the deadline, and then he would just have to go about his business and resume his career in a different direction. But if they're trying to offer him $10 million, then why would they offer him anything to step aside? Means that he's in his rights to have this fight with Tyson Fury in a trilogy match. If they're trying to pay him $10 million to step aside, that means he's in the way, and that means he's rightfully owed his trilogy match, and that means he did not miss the deadline, and that means that they're looking to avoid him by any means necessary. Essentially, that's what that tells you. So when you hear he lost, or he didn't meet the deadline, October 15th, he let the contract expire, or you hear that Tyson Fury is moving on, and you hear that they have a deal already done with Anthony Joshua. Well, essentially, they don't have a deal with Anthony Joshua in place, and something's not right. It's not adding up, because you don't pay him step-aside money if he's not in the way. That's like right now, Errol Spence paying Manny Pacquiao step-aside money to fight Terrence Crawford. Well, he's not his opponent. And if Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is in his rightfully placed to move on because Deontay Wilder didn't follow the rules or missed the deadline or mishandled the trilogy match, the paperwork, the information, and it was a mistake on his part, well, then his time is ran up, and Tyson Fury is well in his rights to fight Anthony Joshua without having to pay Deontay Wilder anything. So the fact that you're hearing all of these conflicting reports just let you know that they're just trying to maneuver around Deontay Wilder, but he's standing on the square looking to earn what's rightfully his, and that's the trilogy match. What's rightfully due for him to have, and that's the trilogy match. And so, once again, you understand what Deontay, the risk that he represents to Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But they'll lead you to believe that he's a one-trick pony that can't box. Only a power puncher. Well, then it should be just that much easier. If he clearly won the first fight, and he clearly won the second fight, well, it should be that much easier for him to win the third fight. And you heard Tyson Fury leading up into the second fight. Tyson Fury stated that there's going to be a third fight. Me and Deontay Wilder, we're going to fight 3 times. That's what Tyson Fury continued to tell the world. Well, now he sees an opportunity or should I say, dare I say, his team sees an opportunity and they're looking to maneuver around the trilogy match to secure themselves another fight. I mean, to secure an undisputed showdown on UK soil and create history in the UK. Because you see, heavyweight undisputed has never took place in the UK, and it's never took place with two British fighters. We had undisputed heavyweight champions. You had Lennox Lewis, but you never had a situation like this. And it's a big fight, yes. But what's right is right. Deontay Wilder's owed a trilogy match. And so now you're going to continue to hear conflicting reports trying to maneuver around Deontay Wilder ultimately. Now it has dropped from $32 million to $10 million. But why would you pay him $10 million to step aside if Tyson Fury is in his right to be able to move on and resume his career without Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder let the contract expire? That's all I got for y'all. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.